Good morning, Intro to Digital Media. This is Mr. Roper, and I'm going to put together a quick video to show you the steps involved in rotoscoping a video that we're doing this week for our project. So I've opened up After Effects here, and the first thing I want to do is to import my video clip that I'm going to be rotoscoping. So I'm going to go to File, Import, select my file, and I happen to have mine in my Downloads folder. And I used a real simple video here. It's a reference video showing someone doing a karate kick. Okay, so now that I've got my video clip imported, all I have to do to make it into a composition is drag it over to the new composition window and let go. You can see that it's now added a composition in my project folder, and it's added the video to my timeline. And I can scrub through it, and you can see that this is just a quick 10-second video of someone doing a kick. Yours will probably be much more exciting because you're going to have movement or dance or something funny happening in a video, but this was a good one for the reference. Now, in order to start rotoscoping on a piece of video footage, right now what we want to do is double click the video. So I'm going to come down to my timeline and double click it. And you can see that it opened up a brand new tab, right? This tab shows my overall composition, and this tab shows just the video that I'm going to be drawing on. Okay, that's important to keep in mind. Now over here, I'm going to go to the top of my screen, and I'm going to select my brush tool from my toolbar. As soon as I click on the brush tool, over on the right-hand side, it will open up the paint options. And in the paint options, you can pick the color that you're going to paint with. You can choose the size of the brush that you're going to use, and a couple other options that we're going to mess with right here. So for this video, I'm going to go ahead and select a nice like neon green. I'm going to make my brush size, let's see, let's get a hard-edged brush. You can see that some of these brushes have very hard edges to them, and others have fluffy edges. You can adjust all of that using these settings right here: hardness, roundness, angle, and diameter. So this looks like a pretty good brush for me. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, maybe like 20 points. And I want to keep that edge nice and hard there. Okay. Then I'm going to jump back to my paint options. And this part is really, really important. Before you start drawing, what you want to do is go to this duration tab, and you want to make sure that it is set to single frame. That means that whatever we draw is only going to show up on that one frame of the footage. It's not going to carry over from one after another. And that's really important for when you're doing rotoscoping. So I'm going to select single frame, and now I can start to paint on my footage. So let's just do something easy. In this beginning, I'm going to just kind of trace up along behind him, and then I'm going to move forward one frame. Now there's two different ways you can do this. If your keyboard has a page up and page down button on it, you can move forward one frame by pressing page down. You can see that my video has moved one frame forward, and now I can't see the drawing that I did on the very first frame. I can go back by pressing page up. Okay, so if you notice here, page up, page down lets me cycle through the animation. If I hold down page down, I can flip through it one frame at a time. And then if I hold down page up, I can run all the way back to the beginning. Now, if you don't have the page up, page down button, you can do the same thing by just grabbing this little blue time marker or the playhead on your video footage, and you can move it forward one frame at a time. You'll kind of feel it click into place as you move it. Okay. You can also zoom in on your timeline. You'll notice that right here, this is 0 seconds. This is 1 second. If I press the plus button on my keyboard, I can zoom in so that I can see individual frames here. So that makes it easier to just jump forward one frame at a time. So I'm going to go through very, very quickly and add in some animation. On my second frame, I'm going to have the line go a little bit higher. On my third frame, I'll have it go all the way up and around. On my fourth frame, I'll have it go even farther around. And on my 5th frame, it's going to go almost down to the bottom. And by the 6th frame, it's made it all the way around my figure. Okay, let's see what this looks like. And remember, I'm doing this pretty quick, so yours will probably be a little bit neater than mine. Now, once the line has gone all the way around him, you can see that when it plays back, it actually looks like the line is animating and wrapping around him. Okay, so that kind of creates a cool effect right here. And what I'll do is once the line completes on the next frame, I'm just going to fill him all in with color. So let's then take this, and I'm just going to quickly try to go around and fill in his whole body with color. Down to here, we'll get his feet, go up here and get his hands, and bingo. Okay, now I've got an animation effect where it looks like the rotoscoping is wrapping around him and then changing him into a solid green color. And from there I can move forward and add other things. Maybe I have some anger lines coming off of his face. Okay, like on this frame I'll add some dash lines. Or if I jump forward, maybe right as he's about to punch, I have his hands kind of go up in flames a little bit. Okay, like he's powering up. You basically have all these different frames in your video that you can fill with drawings, and they don't have to be the same color. You could go, for example, right here where I get my action lines. Maybe on the next one I switch from green to a bright yellow, and I put in those next action lines like this. And now you'll see that my animation is going to change color as I go. So this is where you can start to have some real fun with it. Okay. Now let's say that I have gone through and done all of my animation for the full 10 seconds of my video clip. And that's what we're shooting for here, around 10 seconds. So if the whole thing's done, what I can do is then go up to my composition tab, not the video tab, but the composition tab, and I can play it back to see how it looks. Okay, and mine's going pretty quickly here because I've only done a little bit so far. Okay, to make it glow, what we're going to do is take this video layer. I'm going to click it and press Control D to duplicate that layer, so it's made an exact copy. And on that copy, I'm going to open it up. I'm going to look for the effects, and you'll see paint because I've painted on those layers. Okay, when I open up paint, you're going to see all the brush strokes you made, but you'll also see this little option here, paint on transparent. I'm going to turn that on, and what that has done is erased all the video from that second layer and only left behind the pen marks. And if I turn off the first layer, you can really see. Okay, there's no longer any video, there's just the pen marks. And you can do a couple things with this. Sometimes it looks really cool to actually do your whole animation with no video and only have it be drawings of what you traced. Okay, that can make a really cool effect. But the other thing that allows us to do, excuse me, is that we can start to apply effects to this. Okay, so check this out. I'm going to put a new solid in the background here that is all black. And a solid black layer is just exactly what it is. It's just a full black screen. I'm putting it at the bottom of my stack so that you can see this. I'm going to come over to my effects and I'm going to type in glow. Okay, glow effect is going to get dragged and put onto that top layer that only has the paint marks on it. And as soon as you add glow to that layer, you're going to get some options up here where you can change the quality of the glow. So watch this. I'm going to turn the glow radius up. There we go. We're getting almost a neon effect here. I can turn the intensity up. That will make it even brighter or dimmer. And the glow threshold. If you play around with this, you can change up some of that. Okay? You can also try some of these other settings, see how they affect your glow. But these first three are really the ones that make the most difference. And now my paint layers actually have that neon look to them. And this can lead to some really cool animation as you go forward. Okay. So once you get it all done, you now have your animated scene. You can decide whether you want the video on or off. It's up to you, really, whatever looks best or is most creative for your project. I happen to like mine turned off, so I'm going to leave it like that. And when you're done, we're just going to export this as a video file. So let's go to File, Export. And we're going to try to do this right through After Effects. We're going to add it to the render queue. Down at the bottom, you're going to see some settings in blue. And what we want to do is click this little arrow. And we're going to click Custom. Window will pop up. And we're going to change our format to QuickTime. Okay, that's just going to make it a QuickTime video. We're going to click OK. And then where it says output to, if we click this word, we can decide where we want to save it. So I'm going to save mine into my downloads folder, and I'm just going to name this my last name, first name, and call it Rotoscope. Okay, Rotoscope. I'll hit save, and then the last step is to come over here on the far right and click render. And we're just going to let it render through. You can see mine's going pretty fast because there wasn't a lot for it to render. And when it's done, you'll now have your final QuickTime video that you can turn in for your rotoscoping project. Okay? So I hope you guys have fun with this one. Get really creative with your drawings. Try to fill as many of the frames as possible with some kind of drawing or animation. And we'll check them out in class next time. All right, guys. Talk to you soon.